On your Thursday Weather Impact Live, I'm 10 Tampa Bay Chief Meteorologist Bobby Deskins.
And good afternoon, I'm 10 Tampa Bay Meteorologist Colleen Campbell.
And it is a much quieter day out there, Colleen. I mean,
yes, it is.
We're barely a shower on the radar right now. We are looking at a few clouds in the mix, but a lot more sunshine around today than what we've seen over the last couple days. So it's actually looking pretty good. And I think it actually stays quiet for most of the evening as well. So, Colleen, why don't we just go ahead and start, I think, with the tropics then.
Yeah.
We have, well, I mean, I guess it's Tropical Storm Gabrielle.
She's holding on. She really is.
I tell you. So, if you joined us yesterday, you noticed that we had Gabrielle, okay, and that's this red spot right here, and there's the track. We'll go into detail on that. And then we had two yellow areas of hatched areas. We call them hatched areas. Areas where the Weather Service or the Hurricane Center is thinking there may be some development. Today, that's down to one. Okay, yeah. See that red blob right there? Just kind of fell apart. Yeah,
I was interested in this, Bobby, because earlier when I was doing an 11 a.m. show, you know, that blob was still out there, and I was like, huh, you know, but yeah, I was saying to all of our viewers, they compressed that down to one and really made the interest that wave coming off the coast right now. So makes sense. Yeah, it looks like it dissipated pretty nicely.
Just kind of fell apart.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about that. Let's just start with Tropical Storm Gabrielle. Way out there. As a matter of fact, let's just go ahead and measure this. This is, we'll do it from Tampa. It is just about 2,000 miles away. All right. And from Bermuda, which really they have to watch it, it's about 990 miles away from them or so. Okay, so this thing is way out there. It will stay to the north of the islands, including Puerto Rico. But look at, I mean, they've got enough storms there right now.
Yeah.
Just not quite the wind that you would have with a tropical storm, but you get the idea. Now, the way we've been talking about this is because it's hard to believe. I mean, we had something like that in the Gulf 2 weeks ago when we had that stalled frontal boundary and all the rain that was thrown in our direction. All right, but it was sheared apart and it was over warm water. Look at that, the center's here. Look, see that? There's no thunderstorm activity. In fact, look at these mid and high level clouds. They're just blowing right over the top. And that's in that wind shear. And so everything is out here to the north and the east because of this wind shear that's coming in like this. All right, so it still has that closed low in the middle. All right, it still has the rotation. It doesn't have a central dense overcast, but I think once they've named it, they're going to kind of keep it going. CDO, central dense overcast, is one of the criteria for a tropical system. Obviously, when it's getting started, when you get an eye wall, right, and clear over the eye, that's not a CDO, right? That's clear skies, but it's still a tropical system. But this is kind of in the formative stages, and you can see here that we've already have it as a storm with 50-mile-per-hour winds. So here's the latest forecast track, and that's as of what, 1 o'clock this afternoon? Is that what it was?
I think 11 a.m. Yeah,
11 a.m. Yeah, and we're getting ready to get another one updated here in just a few minutes. But you can see they have it coming down from 50-mile-per-hour winds now down to 45 later this evening, keeping it 45 through tomorrow evening, and then barely through Saturday starting to strengthen a little bit. This whole stretch here has a lot of wind shear on it, okay? Once it gets up to here, that wind shear starts to lighten up, and then you can see what it's doing.
Yeah.
All right, Bermuda's right in here, 80-mile-per-hour winds by Sunday night, Monday morning, and then it does do that recurve. So, Colleen, tell us about these forecast models.
Yeah, so the models, although it looks like with this most recent run, we have a little bit of a closer jog to Bermuda, but overall, generally, you're seeing those models in a tighter agreement, which is great. We like to see that. We don't want to see the models all spread out. What Bobby's pointing to right now is Bermuda. So the most recent update, we are continuing to see more and more in favor of being east of Bermuda, this system being east of Bermuda. Now, if you remember Aaron was to the west of Bermuda, and it was to the east of the U.S., a kind of thread in between those two locations. So this is far east of where Aaron originally was. Bobby's drawing the track of Aaron. So, and that was our last hurricane, you know, and
our only hurricane.
Yeah, that's true. Our only hurricane. So this system, you know, of course we want to keep it on the east side of Bermuda because that is, and of course they're going to have some wind out there and some rain, but the dirty side would be that right side. So if we can get Bermuda, and it looks like that's the way this forecast is playing out. Love to see that. Down the line, the models do spread out a little bit, but overall, I mean, Bobby, this looks like great agreement. I love to see that this early on.
Yeah, especially with that kind of a curve there, because things can go, things can change. Even the ensembles, this is the GFS ensembles, they're in pretty good agreement. That's pretty good. I mean, this is the one model, right? Run different times, but that's still a pretty good agreement. And then if we have the comparison here, yes, okay, so here's the European and the GFS. And they are much more in agreement now than what they were yesterday.
Yeah, GFS may be slightly more out to the west, but still, missing Bermuda, not missing Bermuda, but on the far eastern side of Bermuda, we'd like to see.
I mean, look at this system now. Now, it's not going to be like this by that time, but we do think because it's going to be curving, right, there is still going to be some more wind shear coming on it by that time. Let me zoom this out a little bit. Imagine you are Bermuda and you're right here. There's no weather there. Now, if you're over here, there's weather.
Right.
Right? But there's the center of the storm is right here. And if it goes just to the east of Bermuda, you get nothing.
Yeah.
Literally nothing if it were to get that close and it were to stay this way. But we do, as it strengthens, as I was showing you here, as it strengthens, we do expect to see it to get a little bit more circular instead of lopsided like it is right now, right there around Sunday into Monday. And that's unfortunately as it's passing by there. So we shall see. Now let's go back out to the other one that we were talking about there, the wave coming off of Africa. Only a 20% chance of development. Is that where we're at? Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's days 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? So it's into the weekend and next week. And it's literally what's coming off of Africa right now. So yesterday it was this part. In fact, let me go back 24 hours here. All right, so now you can see this wave is the wave that we were watching yesterday.
Yeah.
And the southern part fell apart, and then this one flared up, and then it just fell apart. See, we were kind of watching that there.
Yeah, it looked pretty healthy at one point yesterday.
Yeah. And that doesn't look bad, but then it just goes.
Yeah.
And then now it's this area of moisture that we're watching. That's the main one, 20% chance of development. And that one's pretty widespread at this point, pretty spread out, if you will. I don't see a lot of dry air around in the mix. There will be some to the north. So it's at least got a shot. But remember, it's a 20% chance at this point, okay? That's a low chance. And the forecast models, let's go over to the European. You can see what it's thinking here with, this is Friday. There's where it thinks Gabrielle is. All right, not seeing much here yet. Now let's go out Sunday, Monday. There's Gabrielle. It went right up through here, okay? Still not seeing much out here. And not seeing much here. This is where I'm concerned.
Right.
I'm kind of concerned here over the next couple of weeks, a few weeks at least. And then we keep going. So let's go out to a week from today. Back that up a little bit. And nothing. I mean, some lower pressures here. But this run of the European is not seeing a whole lot, at least not right away. So that's good news as far as that goes. And then the model comparisons for the GFS versus the European on this one, you can see they're really good agreement right here. Obviously, they should be. It's where it's initializing. But then they both kind of lose it. And then you can see they both bring it. Bermuda's right there, by the way, right at the tip of that arrow. And they both go just to the east. And that's really good agreement. That's good. That's what we want to that's what we want to that's what we want to see. I almost said she because shear is what I was clicking on. So, all right, so let's talk about that wind shear, and you can see it. We're near the red, okay, and this takes us through tomorrow. There's still a little bit of shear here, rhyming all day, and then there's more here. So it's kind of going like this. All right, that's how that wind shear is going as we get into Friday. Now let's go out a little bit. And then that's when it starts to change. This is a little different shear. This is shear on the outside and then shear on the right side and the left side, and that helps to vent it. It's not going straight across the middle anymore until it gets up into here. And so that's why we think it's going to get a little bit stronger. Now, I wanted to show you this because, number one, we still have a ton of shear over the Gulf. That's Monday, all right? But we do not have a lot over the Caribbean, and we have a little bit down here where that wave was trying to come off, somewhere in here. It may actually have to deal with some of that shear. And that's probably one of the reasons why the models aren't doing much with it.
Right.
But then watch the Gulf as we get into the end of next week. And that's Sunday, a week and a half. So there's still some around, but look at that versus this. right? See how it goes over Florida and the Eastern Gulf, and then it doesn't.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah, so if something did form, further down to the south there, coming off the coast of Africa and kind of traveled off into the Caribbean, to make your point earlier, that is something certainly we would have to watch.
yeah, and as I go back and forth with this, this is 10 days later. Look at the Caribbean. Now, 10 days later.
Yeah.
Most of that span, there's not a lot of wind shear down there. So that's just something that we'll keep up. But hey, look, having said that, the models aren't popping a lot of stuff there. They are starting to think the Western Caribbean could be a spot for us to watch for things drifting into the Gulf as we get towards the end of the month, 26, 7, 8, something like that. All right, time to take a break, guys. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit more about that. I want to show you some video from up north again and that non-tropical low that affected the Carolinas and the Mid-Atlantic. Weather impacts your life every day. I'm 10 Tampa Bay Chief Meteorologist Bobby Deskins. You can find out about any change in the weather with our 10 Tampa Bay Plus app. Just stream for the latest forecast, any weather impact alert, updated tropics forecast, and take a live look at the radar. Anytime you want, and it's free. It's just one more way we're helping you stay informed, prepared, and connected. Stream 10 Tampa Bay Plus.
Jeopardy is for everybody.
That's amazing. Oh, yeah.
With players just like you.
Paramedic, a retired teacher, psychiatrist.
I'm a little bit competitive.
That's the spirit.
Watch their victories.
We have a giant killer.
And heartbreaks.
Oh, no.
The next super champion could be anyone.
It's almost like a superhero origin story.
It could be you.
Oh, wow.
It's all happening on Jeopardy.
Jeopardy weeknights at 7:30 right here on 10 Tampa Bay.
I was driving when an 18-wheeler turned in front of me. I locked up my brakes, bam, slid dead into the truck. Bloody and hurt, I was loaded into an ambulance, and that's when I put out my phone and called attorney Dan Newton. Dan jumped right on it. He was in my corner the whole way. He fought the fight from beginning to end and got me $1 million.
Involved in a car accident? Call me now at 813-888-8000.
Dan, your awesome team deserves 6 stars. Thank you for winning my case.
Before hurricane season hits, it's time to prep your home. Secure outdoor equipment and generators. Clear debris from around your AC unit and schedule a pre-storm HVAC and electrical inspection.
Those are some great tips, and Cool Today is here to help you weather the storm. For over 60 years, we've been here to help Floridians with their cooling, plumbing, and electrical needs. We can help you prepare, protect, and repair your home. Call 888-40-TODAY.
Okay, welcome back. We yesterday showed you the Carolina coast, which, Colleen, they had Aaron. It did a big damage, right?
Yeah, it's been a rough year for them.
And then we had this storm system that it was a non-tropical low that was over. Take a look at this. It was, well, I'm going to go back. This is the last 72 hours, okay? The last 3 days worth of it. And you can see what is right off the coast there right now. So this was non-tropical. It didn't have any tropical storm watches, no warnings. I might have coastal flood warning because it was developing some higher winds there. But generally, winds were in the 20s and 30s and gusts were in the 40s. For the Outer Banks, for Norfolk, Virginia Beach, Chincoteague area, this Virginia stretch here, the Delmarva area here, Delaware, and even into the Chesapeake Bay a little bit. All right, now the temperatures here were in the 60s. All right, it was pulling down colder air. So in this case, you've got warm air here, cool air here. That is not tropical. All right, that is basically like a nor'easter, like a kind of a weak nor'easter. Watch the 72-hour loop of this thing. And you can see, watch that, right off of Hatteras. Then it comes off of Virginia Beach, goes in, kind of comes in and spraying all of Maryland, then comes back down to the south, then kind of falls apart, comes back out. You're going to see the visible satellite show back up here today, and is now kind of falling back down here. So this thing, this thing just did this big kind of loop like this, and it's going like that. Now, take a look at some of the video that we had from just the other day. These are some of those houses that we were watching when Aaron went by, okay? Hurricane Aaron. Some of them, a lot of them actually survived, at least this particular round. And then now you can see that's what happened over about 2 or 3 days ago from this particular storm. All right, so it's constantly eroding that beach there with every big storm that we get. Take a look at this. We've got some reporting coming out of that area now.
Cleanup crews were hard at work on Wednesday in Buxton.
I hate comparing this to Rodanthe because, it's much worse.
It kind of shocked me, to be honest. I'd never seen one fall in Buxton, only Rodanthe.
Cleanup on Wednesday comes after a house collapsed into the ocean Tuesday evening. This marks the 12th house on Hatteras Island to fall victim to the ocean since 2020. 11 in Rodanthe and 1 now in Buxton.
We all knew it was coming. We've been screaming about it for a year and a half now.
Brian Harris and the Buxton Civic Association have been pushing for change in the area for more than a year. Harris says with more than a dozen more houses threatened by the ocean, something needs to happen.
The Buxton Civic Association wants a state of emergency for the Buxton Oceanfront. From the motels to the jetties, it all needs to be a state of emergency. This needs to go on Stein's desk. This needs to be dealt with. Everybody's over it.
A positive is that there are plans in the works to reinforce the shoreline in 2026. A rebuilding of the southernmost jetty and a beach nourishment project on top of it.
It's great that we got the jetty coming in April. We're looking at replacing one. Dare County's approved that. We really need a system of jetties all the way to the motels. We got the beach nourishment as well coming, but there needs to be some level of retreat in all this too.
But those projects are months away, and each day all these houses remain threatened by Mother Nature.
For us to just sit here and watch these houses drop over the next 5 months, it's bad for everybody.
Yeah. And that's what we were saying yesterday. The East Coast, especially when you get up towards New Jersey, Maryland, Ocean City, Maryland, they have jetties every so often, right? And then up towards the Jersey coast as well.
Yeah.
Because that longshore current goes from north to south on the East Coast. And if you put a jetty, it'll be thin and then get bigger up to the jetty. And then you need another one, like he said, a series, because then it gets thin and bigger up to the jetty. And then generally you have a little bit of growth of the beach on the south sides of the jetty because it wraps around. So it's good to know they'll get at least one there. So to me, it sounds like they have hope that those don't go. I just thought it was a matter of time.
Yeah, well, it looks like from what they were saying in that package that, the erosion is taking place further up to the north. So it's kind of spreading out there. And it really has to be like a helpless feeling when you see these structures that, basically are just abandoned, sitting there waiting for, a natural act like this just to wipe them out. And you're watching all of that, go into the ocean that, of course, nobody wants there. That's everything that's inside of those houses. That's not good for our aquatic life at all. That guy, I kind of felt with him where I was like, man, let's do something about this.
Yeah.
But
Got to get figured out. Sounds like at least they're working towards something. That's good news.
Yeah.
All right. We got a little bit of kind of breaking news. 3 o'clock this afternoon, Eastern time. We had an earthquake out just east of Russia, between Russia and Alaska. All right, the Aleutian Islands. I'm going to take you way out there. You can see where it is. This is a pretty large one. It was 7.8, and it was offshore. And you can see some of the numbers here. Well, yeah, it was, what was the depth? 6 miles. So relatively shallow. The lower that number, the shallower it is, the more it shakes the surface of the ocean, okay? And the better chance it has to make a tsunami. There are now tsunami warnings in effect for the Aleutian Islands. That's about it for the Alaska area, but generally it's all of this area, say right in here, including on the inside of it. And have not heard of anything going beyond that. I haven't heard of anything even materializing from this yet, but it is something that we'll be checking with shortly because that happened at 3 o'clock. It's almost 5 o'clock now, so they should have seen one by that time if they're going to see one. All right, we'll take another quick break and we'll come back with the local forecast.
I was driving when an 18-wheeler turned in front of me. I locked up my brakes, bam, slid dead into the truck. Bloody and hurt, I was loaded into an ambulance, and that's when I put out my phone and called Attorney Dan Newton. Dan jumped right on it. He was in my corner the whole way. He fought the fight from beginning to end and got me $1 million.
Involved in a car accident? Call me now at 813-888-8000.
Dan, your awesome team deserves 6 stars. Thank you for winning my case.
Weather impacts your life every day. I'm 10 Tampa Bay Chief Meteorologist Bobby Deskins. You can find out about any change in the weather with our 10 Tampa Bay Plus app. Just stream for the latest forecast, any weather impact alert, updated tropics forecast, and take a live look at the radar. Anytime you want, and it's free. It's just one more way we're helping you stay informed, prepared, and connected. Stream 10 Tampa Bay Plus.
And it's like a movie script. It's family rivalry, betrayal, and murder.
They cover America's most fascinating true crime stories.
One way or another, that's an execution.
Absolutely.
Every case.
Who would want to hurt him?
Every clue.
This is dynamite for an investigator.
Every mystery that keeps you guessing until the very end.
Does everyone's jaws drop?
Dateline, 5 times a week.
Watch weekdays at 4 on 10 Tampa Bay.
Windows are created and installed with different levels of quality. You need quality that can withstand the tropical climate. Our installers only install PGT custom windows and doors, so we are the go-to experts. Don't take my word for it. We have been named Best of Tampa Bay 3 years in a row, Reader's Choice in Sarasota 3 years in a row, and nationally recognized as Window and Door Dealer of the Year. Price is what you pay, but value is what you get. Give WeatherTight Windows a call today, and don't forget the cookies.
All right, let's talk local forecast. Colin, we have not seen a lot of rain out there today compared to yesterday.
Definitely drier. You know, our in-house model showing drier conditions. I showed the high-res model earlier because we really weren't seeing much. But yeah, here's a loop of the radar right now. Spotty, very spotty showers.
If that, right? Yeah, there's not much.
Yeah.
This over here in Pasco, it looks like, if you just look at the radar, it looks like it, but what this was is prescribed burn, I'm sure, somewhere up here in the Starking Ranch area. In fact, if I go back 2 hours, let's go back 3 hours, and you should see the smoke there. See how it's emanating from the same spot right there?
Yeah.
That's an indication that it's smoke, okay? And so that's really, it's pretty quiet other than that. Now, the difference today versus yesterday is these storms down south are a little bit further to the east than they were yesterday. They were kind of out over here, and they're not as thick as they were yesterday because those were the clouds that we were seeing yesterday. And now we've got a good amount of sunshine out there. We still have some clouds over top of us, but that's about it. Now, there's the sun out at the beach. Well, looking towards the beach. This is downtown St. Pete right now. Beautiful afternoon. We should have a really nice sunset out there, by the way. Obviously warmer today. I mean, we were upper 80s, mid 80s yesterday. But 90s for Tampa, 91 Homosassa. We've got 88 Lakewood Ranch, 89 Wesley Chapel and Dade City, and 86 in Lakeland. Now, we have more of a northerly wind, kind of north to northeast for the next couple of days. And that's going to at least try and hold some of the drier air, or slightly drier air in place. So you can see the dew points don't really come up through Monday. But after that, I think they go 72, 73 as we get into Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of next week. In fact, let me show you this. I wasn't planning on doing that, but you can see that Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Oh, Friday's not on there, but that's when the humidity starts to come back. Now, real fast, let's talk about the rain chance with our forecast model, and there's just not a lot there.
Yeah.
There we go through the evening hours. There is a chance, and it's through 9:30, 10 o'clock tonight, even for Tampa, St. Pete. But after that, it falls apart. Tomorrow, we start off sunny, north to north.